real talk, I love a weird movement practice. I mean, like the weirder, the better. Stuff that forces you like right up against the edges of what you're comfortable doing and maybe even a little bit beyond. And there are few weirder movement practices than the one we're about to do right now. I call it Seaweed Spine. I have also referred to it as Fire Hose Spine. So for today, we're going to go with Seaweed Spine, and we may even talk about it as Fire Hose Spine. But here's what it is. So I start off with having people bring the soles of their feet more or less together. Then you're just going to sit. And then you're going to begin to rock side to side. And what I witness often is that people keep their spine pretty still. Maybe their head tracks, never really moving anywhere. And so first I'll say, well, what if you let your head go side to side? And then Seaweed Spine is inspired by Monterey and sea kelp, seaweed, whatever you want. So imagine now that you don't have a spine anymore. You have sea kelp, seaweed, and it's able to sort of be moved by the movement itself. So as I go over, I'm just gonna let my head and my shoulders go, my rib spine. I may even notice that I get kind of lazy, or maybe I want to go up. I'm just exploring, well, what does it mean to actually allow my spine to be moved side to side? Not because I'm doing any, gross movement to it. I'm not saying do a side bend and do a side bend. I'm rocking side to side, and then I'm sort of just allowing the spine to go along for the ride. Maybe I can do a forward and back, and I sort of just let it begin to move a little bit. Now, I also call it fire hose spine because it's a good visual. If your spine instantly became a fire hose, the top of your head is where the water is squirting out of. And imagine now it's on full blast and the firemen let go, and how that fire hose would move all the way around. And for some people, that visual works better because now you can imagine squirting water from the top of your head, and can I get the entire room wet? Can I paint the room with the water? So instead of just going side to side, now maybe I'm inspired to sort of get some circular actions. Now, once you get a little more proficient at that, here's how I take it up a notch. I stick one leg out, and I have one leg bent. Let me scooch back for you. One leg out, one leg bent, and then from there, I can now do my fire hose spine. So again, one leg out, one leg in, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I can even go forth and try to like do a toe touch and come back up. Now, I've purposely not shown my toes because it's kind of unimportant if I touch my toes or not. The expectation is that I'm going forward to touch my toes, but I'm not going to set the rule up of I am only successful if I touch my toes, because that's not the exercise. The expectation is seaweed spine, fire hose spine. So if I touch my toes, freaking awesome. If I don't, literally no one else cares. So I can just sort of begin to move here, or I could choose to move over the bent leg here. And whether my sits bones or my seat comes up, no one cares. I could make the rule though go, it can't come up. That changes it. I could make the rule of using my arms to get the movement. Any number of stuff. I'm just simply exploring, can I get my spine to move in this very fluid, fluent fashion, as if I'm not even the one moving it, as if it is being moved by movement itself, as if the decision to be moved has created movement in my body. I carry this belief that our spine needs to be highly mobile, highly intelligent, and capable of twists, turns, and fluid movement. I think that is vitally important to our overall health, and especially the health of our nervous system, and in particular the health of our spine. And this is how I start my students. What they have found is that often their hips open up, their spine feels better, their shoulders open. Sometimes you go through a little phase where you can't quite negotiate it. So some rib discomfort might come up for a little bit. Make the decision. Is it more important to be stopped by mild discomfort or confusion as to what it is you're feeling in your ribs and your shoulders and your neck? And if it's mild enough, is it more important to keep exploring the movement? Maybe you did too much. Maybe you need to change where you're doing it. You do it on your bed rather than the floor, or your floor rather than your bed. Lots and lots of options. Environment matters. So seaweed spine, moving forward and back, allowing this flowing fluid movement as if your spine is sea kelp being moved by ocean waves or that you are a powerful fire hose that has gotten away from its handlers and you are out just having fun. Lots and lots of explorations for it. Try it in a number of seated positions. Try it being the thing that moves you forward to touch your toes, and then decide where else that might come in handy. Maybe it's a cat-cow. Maybe it's a yoga position. Maybe it's after you weightlifted. Maybe it's in your office chair or driving to work. I don't know. Just some options to consider.